Good afternoon, evening, night, morning, wherever you are in the world. This is a very late stream for me. I decided to do this via night because the lighting looks a lot better. I think, in my opinion, it does. I don't know. You decide. Um, Anyways, welcome back to another installment of reading sites off the internet. Uh, the other one did very well, so I decided to do this one too. Now, again, I'm reading off my phone, so I may stutter, I may slur, I may do something. This is a live video. I don't do edits, I don't do ads. The only time I will upload something is if YouTube doesn't work for me. All right. Well, enough intros and everything else. We got something going on right here. The top 5 turning point moments in TNA/Impact Wrestling history. I'm reading this off of Keen's website, which is wrestlingwithwrestling.com. Wait a minute. Oh, I know who hired him. Anyways, okay, so listen down the 5 top moments because Turning Point is this Saturday. Monumental card that I'll go into during the week, but first I get to watch the amazingness that is Talking Shopomania 2. I'm excited. I love the first one. The second one's gonna be great because Taya's on it. My favorite wrestler. I'll say that. So here we go. Impact Wrestling's Turning Point event is set to happen on November 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Exclusively on the Impact Plus app. It's also available via the Fight app. So with that said, now would seem like the perfect time to go over what I believe are the top 5 moments to take place at Turning Point. Again, these are his ideas that I'm reading off because I share his opinion. Some are good, and some are bad. But one thing is for certain: these moments have become iconic in the annals of Impact Wrestling. First up, at number 5, the end of Aces and Eights, Turning Point 2013. Now, this was back when I was watching Impact, so I know this happened, and I loved it. But anyways, here we go. Clear my throat. The first 20. I did it again. See, the first Turning Point event to air for free on live TV. This special episode of Impact Wrestling had a few memorable mentions, like Gail Kim wrestling future NXT superstar Candice LeRae. I remember that. And a backstage segment where Shark Boy could be seen eating a large amount of donuts before his match with EC3. However, its main event that took place at Turning Point 2013 that makes this list. Aces and Eights is one of the most iconic or infamous, depending on who you ask, factions in TNA/Impact Wrestling, who terrorized the roster with sneak attacks, cryptic messages, and shocking twists. Most notably, Bully Ray revealing that he was the president of the biker gang and turning heel and winning the world title in the main event of that year's Lockdown pay-per-view. Yes, he turned on Jeff Hardy. It broke my heart. But just like the New World Order, Aces and Eights started to get away too many members in the stable, and their momentum really began fizzling out. By late 2013, the beginning of the end came when Mr. Anderson, who was the vice president of the group, turned on Bully Ray during Ray's no DQ match with Sting. And in the process, Anderson became the babyface who was looking to destroy the group once and for all. While Anderson was unsuccessful at defeating Bully at the No Surrender event, he did get another chance in the main event at Turning Point, with the stipulations being that if Anderson won, then Aces and Eights are forced to disband. But if Bully won, then Mr. Anderson must leave the company. Long story short, Anderson was able to hit a signature mic drop maneuver on Bully for the 3 count, and as a result, Aces and Eights were gone, with heel commentator and member of the group Taz being forced to take off his cut at the request of Mike Tenay and a few wrestlers on the roster, with the show ending with Anderson holding both Taz and Bully Ray's cut in his hands as the show fades to black. That was a great show, and it was pretty cool to see it live on TV and have it feel like a pay-per-view. I remember when Impact used to do that. I think Dixie started that in early 2013 to gain views and to gain hits on the TV channel because TV shows weren't doing as great. So they had these 3-hour specials that would be like mini pay-per-views on TV. There was the Knockouts Knockdown. There was the whole effing show, Turning Point. Some of the pay-per-views that were regular pay-per-views got turned into TV specials. So very fun. And he has a link under here for the Mr. Anderson ends Aces and Eights and the funeral of Aces and Eights, which is very fun because Bully Ray does this little dark, cryptic promo where he says, "I walk to the valley of the shadow. I walk the valley of the shadow." He quotes a verse from the Bible and says it in a most poetic sort of way. You would have to just watch it. The link is below on his. Oh wait, that's too bright. Anyways, okay, number 4. Randy Savage's final wrestling appearance. Yes, for those who need to know, Randy Savage's last wrestling match was in TNA. He did a one-off appearance in TNA, and that was his final appearance. He died, I think a few years later or in the same year. I don't remember. I'll have to do research, but that was his final match. That was his final appearance, and it was devastating for us all, but it was fun to see and it was fun to watch. Now let's find out how it went down. We go to the very first Turning Point event for this next entry, as it sees one of the most influential names in professional wrestling from the 1980s and 1990s taking part in what would be his final appearance in Major Wrestling Company. In the semi-main event of Turning Point 2004, Jeff Jarrett, along with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, dressed in Elvis Presley-inspired jumpsuits and referring to themselves as the Kings of Wrestling, took on the team of Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, and the Macho Man Randy Savage. Yes, that Randy Savage. Is there any other one? No, there isn't. There's no mockery of him. Sadly, the Macho Man's time in this company ended soon afterwards, with rumors persisting that Savage disagreed with the booking to a proposed pay-per-view match involving himself and Jarrett for the NWO World Championship. Another story has it that Hulk Hogan was allegedly rumored to join Impact, and as a result, Savage bailed on the promotion. Regardless if either story is true or not, the fact remains that Randy Savage did wrestle for Impact Wrestling and follow his tragic death from a heart attack while driving on the road back in 2011. Savage's time in TNA/Impact are seen as his last appearance for a major wrestling promotion. At least the company can say they had the Macho Man on their brand before he died. So there's that. Yeah, I was a fan of Macho. Great fan. His work in the Spider-Man movie was fun too. He played Bonesaw McGraw. Fun. I like that. Bonesaw is ready. Great actor. Great memories. Number 3. Samoa Joe's Shoot promo, Turning Point 2007. Samoa Joe is known for many things, but being careful and timid with his words is most certainly not one of them. As his scathing promo at Turning Point 2007 shows, in the scheduled main event match of that year's Turning Point pay-per-view, we were supposed to see Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Samoa Joe take on the tag team champions of AJ Styles and Tomko, as well as the World Heavyweight Champion, Kurt Angle, in a 6-person tag team match. However, Scott Hall did not make it to the event, allegedly due to food poisoning, and the company instructed Samoa Joe to cut a promo and introduce a new partner to take Hall's place in the match. That's a lot to read. This is where things got controversial, as Samoa Joe indeed cut a promo like he was asked, but the Samoan Machine. Samoa Machine, Submission Machine. I think he put that machine twice. Samoa Submission Machine said in that promo was not what the higher-ups in Impact were expecting. For starters, Joe mentioned how the bad guy punked him and the fans by no-showing this event, and even revealed that the company just gave him a live microphone on pay-per-view before cutting a shoot promo that would make CM Punk's 2011 pipe bomb look weak by comparison. I would have to watch this promo. I missed this. Joe goes on to mention how names like the Motor City Machine Guns, Jay Lethal, and himself, among others, were responsible for making the company into the success it is, and brings up how passionate the fans are, while also saying that superstars only come to the company and profiteer from the promotion. The former X Division champion goes even further and mentions how the superstars think that they can do whatever they want while at the same time screwing over the young wrestlers trying to make the company into something. And even screwing over the fans who paid to see them despite their no longer being in their prime, which leads to the cameraman looking at both Kurt Angle and Kevin Nash during the superstar part of the promo. Joe concludes by telling Scott Hall to kiss ass, looks at someone in the crowd and says, "You mad? Go ahead, fire me, I don't care," with many believing that someone Joe was talking to, referring to, was Dixie Carter, and reveals that the third man on his team was Eric Young. The good guys won in case you care, but what happened backstage was insane. Samoa Joe and Kevin Nash get into a heat argument which led to Big Sexy slapping Joe in the face, Dixie Carter getting pissed off, and Joe being forced to apologize for his comments. Hey, Jared. Of course, this being TNA when Vince Russo was the writer, the company decided to turn Samoa Joe's displeasure into a storyline which would be brought up again during Nash's time in the Main Event Mafia. Number 2. Kurt Angle's stage dive, Turning Point 2008. Oh man, the video of him diving is just iconic, classic, perfect. Like anything Styles does is perfect. Or Angle does is perfect. Turning Point 2008 is often seen as one of the greatest pay-per-views in company history, and it's easy to see why, as the show includes things like Beer Money Incorporated versus the Motor City Machine Guns for the tag team titles, Christian Cage wrestling in his final match in TNA, and the dominance of the Main Event Mafia throughout the event. To say that this match was intense, amazing, and all over the place in all of the right places would be a complete understatement, as this match is seen the best and at times underrated classic in careers of Angle and Abyss. Undoubtedly, the most iconic moment in this match would have to be the moment where Kurt Angle runs off the entrance ramp and jumps off doing a 450 senton onto the monster. According to a video that I've linked below, Abyss talks about his history with Kurt Angle and how tremendous it was working with in a number of matches, including this one here. Abyss mentions in the video that the scene involving Kurt Angle's stage dive was a completely unplanned spot, and we can only thank God that Angle didn't injure himself or Abyss upon that unexpected move. So it wasn't planned. Oh wow, so he took a chance on live pay-per-view. What if he got heat for that? Number 1, making good time. This one, Elix Skipper's cage walk. I was completely blown away when I saw this first. So let's get into why. Turning Point 2004. Y'all probably saw this one coming from a mile away. December 5th, 2004, the day that former professional wrestler Elix Skipper cemented his legacy in front of thousands of cheering fans in attendance. In the main event of the inaugural Turning Point pay-per-view, Wildcat Chris Harris and Cowboy James Storm of America's Most Wanted took on their arch rivals, the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels and primetime Elix Skipper of Triple X, inside the 6 sides of steel where the losing team would be forced to disband. The match itself is an instant classic in every sense of the word, but perhaps the most iconic moment, of course, would have to be a moment where Chris Harris, who was bleeding heavily and sitting on the side of the steel cage, was met by Elix Skipper on the top of the cage, where Skipper did a tiptoe walk on top of the cage before hitting a thunderous hurricane run off the cage onto Harris and sending the Wildcat crashing down in the middle of the ring. To which every maid, man, woman, child, and smart mark lost their shit at the sight of this moment. While AMW will go on to win this match and force Triple X to disband, the image of seeing primetime Elix Skipper walk the cage and deliver that Hurricane Rana is simply iconic, breathtaking, and truly the most defining moment in not just Elix Skipper's career, but truly one of the best turning point moments in Impact Wrestling history. Be sure to follow him on Twitter at Fullerton Hakeem, and be sure to watch Turning Point on November 14th at 8 p.m. exclusively on the Impact Plus app. He has the 17th down here. It's actually the 14th. It's this weekend. Unless the date has changed, I don't know of. But it's the 14th. Well, that is that. This is the second time that I was doing this. It might get good hits. I know I slurred a bit, so I hope people stuck with me. I do have a speech impediment, and I have epilepsy. So those two coincide with what I do and how I talk. It can come off jumbled, it can come off slurred, or it can come off misinterpreted. Either way, that was it. That was the done video. That was it. Turning Point is this Saturday. Friday though is Talking Shop-A-Mania 2. Talking Shop-A-Mania 2. The first one was spectacular. I mean, did you guys see Ethan Page's Body Guy Muscle Extravaganza show? It was canceled, obviously, because of the whole global bastard COVID thing. But he gave away the show for free, but he did it animated. Like the whole thing was stick figures and wrestling and having little paper drawn people. It was crazy. It was a basic rib that he did for free on YouTube. It was fantastic. Then I saw Talking Shop-A-Mania, and that was one giant rib, and I just laughed my whole entire ass off. There was Crazy. It's still on Fight TV that I know of. And there was this giant thing at the end where there was a boner yard match. I mean, and you have Heath and Myers drinking beers while they're watching Chad Too Bad and Sex Ferguson kick each other's asses. It was just fantastic. Then there was this crazy battle royal that made no sense at all, and everyone was just having a blast. There was this match that had two old guys battling out, but then they got tired and they walked off to his house and started rumbling there, and Sex is like, you know what, we'll get back to them later. And then like 15 minutes passes by and they're brawling inside his house. And I'm like, all right, these guys are pooped for now. And then 15 minutes later, they show again about someone jumping into a pool. Craziness. So you can expect just as much craziness on Friday for Talking Shop-A-Mania. And then on Saturday, you got Turning Point. And on Thursday, tomorrow, I will be doing the rundown card that I always do. Well, not always. I kind of fail sometimes. That I will be doing tomorrow, probably around the same time. I think I like this lighting a lot better than the morning lighting. So, anyways, that's the end of my video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And again, I'm sorry if I was unclear with any of my words. Peace.